Now we'll go to the Kingman crash, the Kingman, Arizona. I remember hearing last time where it was in May 1953. There were multiple witnesses, and there were multiple aliens. 4 of them were alive, and some of them were not. This recovery process apparently was monitored by an alien craft overhead. And they apparently communicated to us somehow that they were pleased with the humane treatment that we provided to the aliens that we were trying to save. The remarkable thing about this particular crash, after we were starting to study it, was that 2 of our people went in with protective suits, because we didn't know what we might be exposed to. Went in with protective suits, and they stayed for about an hour to study what was inside the craft. And when they came out, they took off the masks, they threw up, and they couldn't remember anything. And they were sick after that. So there's an example of a sickness that seems to also affect the mind. Okay, now we'll come to triangles in Psalm 101. I'll talk about the Special Operations Manual 101. Just sold to this gentleman over here. Actually, that was a copy I was going to hold up. You could hold that up for us? So that's what it looks like. So the front page shows extraterrestrial entities and technology recovery and disposal. It's top secret magic. Eyes only. It's written by the Majestic 12 group. It's April 1954. And the War Office logo was used. Actually, people said the War Office was not in existence in 1954, so therefore it's fake. Well, that's one of the many examples that I'll show you. Does not mean anything. You have to know how the government does things. So what happened was that this began when, in 1994, Don Berliner, who had at an earlier MUFON conference had written an imaginary article about what kind of a recovery team you would use to recover UFOs. It was about 4 years ago, before that. And then in 1994, he received this 35mm film that was this manual. And he apparently faxed it. He sent it to Stan Friedman, as I said earlier, and Stan was the one who got me interested. Well, I went to Washington to visit with Don Berliner, and we went to a photo shop of his choice and ran high-quality copies, 8.5 by 11, which I paid for and I kept. He didn't bother to keep any, but I have them. And from these, I then ran a simple 22 pages, and I called up the public printer because they were listed in the phone book, and I said, I've got a question document, I wonder if I can make an appointment. So I made an appointment, and the next time I was in Washington, I was able to meet with this little Robert McCarter and show him this document. This is stamped top secret, the guards say you have anything there that's classified. I said, no. But anyway, I went into his office and handed it to him. I said, Mr. McCarter, I said, I received this document, I wonder if you could comment on its authenticity. So he picked it up and started turning these pages and slowed down, and then he speeded up. And then at the end of about 10 minutes, he said, well, based on content, I would say it's a fake. But, he said, based on the characters of the type font, I would say it's authentic. And the reason is because the F and the G are monotype modern, which are only used in a couple of years. And he said, also, I found that there is a Z that is raised. And the reason that happens is because you rarely use letters like the Z in the hot lead printing presses. They collect a little debris at the bottom, and so when they flop down to be printed, they don't seat properly. So if you look at a document like this and you see some raised Z's, you know that it was done on a hot lead printing press of that era. And this tells you this is the type of font that we use there. So